So here's another analogy that brings this into place, and then we'll talk about what you want to talk about. So we see you. It's like you take your boat down to the river's edge, fast-moving river, and almost without exception, because of your association with others who have forgotten, you turn your boat upstream and you paddle very hard against the current. And it seems like the right thing to do because so many others are doing it. At least the others that are amounting to anything, you're told, are doing it. Oh, there are plenty of lazy ones that aren't, but they are lazy, aren't they? And those that are virtuous and valiant, those that are hardworking, those that are studying, those that are amounting to something, they have hold of the oars and they are paddling very hard upstream. And often you say to us that all of the monuments are put with the names of those who are paddling very hard upstream. The plaques, the best-selling books, they're all about that. And we say, may very well be true. But we want you to know that nothing that you want is upstream. Nothing that you want is upstream. And the reason that we give this to you so emphatically is because we understand what this stream is. We understand that the stream is the calling because of law of attraction to the larger part of you. So are you getting this? Do you see how when you are in your physical body and you are living something that you don't want, and out of that comes a strong clarity of what you do want, that the loving source energy that is within you rides that rocket of what you do want and holds it in vibrational escrow for you, calling you from that point forward toward it. Do you understand that your vibrational escrow contains all of the amendments that your life experience has caused you to add to it? Not just this life experience, but everything that you've lived through, everything that you've lived, and especially that which you are adding to it now. All of that is powerfully held for you, and you are being called toward it. And that's why the stream moves, and that's why everything that you want is downstream, and that's why when you feel good, you're moving toward it, and that's when you feel bad, you are not allowing yourself to move toward it. We've never seen any of you make much progress at paddling very far upstream, but when your stream's moving fast and you're paddling at all, you've set up resistance. Jerry and Esther went whitewater river rafting last summer. It was a wonderful experience. And as they all went down to the river with their boats, not one of them had the impulse, even for a moment, to turn the boat upstream and paddle. It was obvious to them that that river was going to have its way with them. And their river guide, first thing he said to them is, friends, this is not Disneyland. We cannot turn this river off. In other words, this river is going to take you that way, and it's good for you to be aware of what you're doing in the river. And we're saying the same thing to you. We cannot turn this river off. This river is flowing. And your only choice, if you want to be happy, is to understand that the river is flowing, and understand where it's going, and understand why it's going where it's going. Where is it going? It's going to the fulfillment of that which you have become. And why is it going there? Because that's the way it all works. Because you, in your brilliance, in your willingness to be out here on this leading edge and sift through the contrast that you think from your human form that you would rather do without, and we promise you you wouldn't rather do without it, from your broader perspective, as you sift through this contrast, you're giving birth to constant new desires. And the expansion of the universe is about all of that. You are the pioneers on the leading edge, and it is time, and it's why we are here. It's time for you in your now to reap the benefit of the work that you are doing while you are here. Future generations will benefit dramatically by what you've sifted out and by what you've asked for, because they're not resistant to what you've asked for when they come in. But as soon as they get here, they meet one of you, dear well-meaning parents, who says to them, I'm so glad you're here. I've been waiting for you. You say, I've lived a lot of life and I've become very wise. And I have a long list of things that I need to tell you so that you'll be safe. There are a lot of bad things in this world. And I know where most of them are, and I'll point them all out to you. And the personal experiences that I have been fortunate enough not to live about those bad things, I've picked up information about them from other people. I subscribe to this news service and these online chat groups, and I have a long, long list of things that I promise you I will not let happen to you. And I will tell you about all of them as you're old enough to understand them. And we say, well-meaning parents of planet Earth, do you not understand that they're coming to teach you? That they are remembering that all is well, that they are the culmination of all that all of you have lived, that they are the fresh new insight, that they are those who are knowing that they can be or do or have anything that they want, that they are being born from the basis of understanding that well-being is the platform from which everything comes forth and is the platform of everything that remains here. Do you know that they are coming forth with a guidance system that is within them, and they are so close in their vibration that if it were not for your worry, there would be no gap in their vibration at all? And that the more you tell them that there are things to worry about, the more you help them to widen their gap, until later on they're going to have to come to a seminar like this to learn how to close their gap. Well-being is the platform that is at the basis of everything that is. And it is time for you, really it is, to begin to reap the benefit of what you have set forth into your vibrational escrow. So, we are eager to talk to you about anything that is important to you. We think you are understanding what we've said rather clearly. Do you accept that you are more than you are here in this physical body? And did our depiction of law of attraction register to you in a logical way? And can you accept that you've been feeling some eagerness and passion, and can you now, as you play it back in your own mind, doesn't it make sense to you that that eagerness that you felt was your allowing yourself to be a vibrational match to the way your source was seeing things? Can you feel that when you are loving someone that you are looking at them exactly as the source within you is looking at them? And can you feel that when you're hating them, even if you feel justified in your hatred, that you are not seeing them as the source within you is seeing them? And do you think that your source is just blind to the dumb stuff they've done? Or do you think that the source within you is seeing who they really are, not who they're temporarily being in this moment? So do you think, did you follow that? Yes. So you're hating them, you're angry at them, and you agree that the source within you is not looking at them like you are, yes? So, since the source within you is not looking at them like you are through your eyes of hatred, then you're using them as your excuse to separate yourself from source, yes? Is it worth it? Well, for a while it seems like it is. Because they were really bad. Esther says, Abraham, give me a break. You got to admit, that was pretty rotten. And over time, we wore her down because we wouldn't admit it. We would not join her in her negative picture. And when you understand that the source within you will never join you in your negative picture, that's what we mean when we say, you got to give it up if you ever want to be happy. You have to acclimate to who you really are, because who you really are is never going to acclimate to who you are. Who you really are is too sure-footed, too long in that energy of well-being, too much the basis of well-being. So when parents or teachers or those who are giving you that long list of pitfalls that you need to watch out for begin telling you the story about this evil stream and this source of evil and this devil and this Satan and all of this bad stuff that you need to watch out for, we want you to understand that in every case, that's just more of that separation from who you really are. There is not a stream of evil or a stream of badness. There is only a stream of well-being which you are allowing or not. And when you don't allow it, it feels pretty bad. And as it feels pretty bad, we can see how you'd give it pretty big labels, and we can see how you would then begin warning people about it. But we want you to understand, from this point forward, we think you will, every time you warn anybody about anything that you know they don't want to live, you are queuing them up for an activated vibration that is keeping them apart from what they really do want to live. You cannot create in the reality of another because you cannot get within them and vibrate. But you can offer enough stimulation of thought that you can influence someone's vibration. And as you influence their vibration, you got to ask yourself, do you want to replace their guidance system? Or do you want to be an example that is helping them to understand that every one of them has guidance within them? If they learn to listen for it, they will always know how to get to what they're wanting. So we want you to be joyful, and we want you to be fulfilled. And fulfilled means every time keeping up with who you have become. That's all it means, moving in the direction of who you have become. Nice to know.